What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of They Don't Know I Be Cooking, and today I'm going to show you how to make some fried calamari. Now this recipe is really straightforward. If you could just do me a favor and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, because I drop videos like this throughout the week, alright? And now without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so what we have here is 1 pound of calamari, and these are the tubes and tentacles, and I've already washed and cleaned them with water and lemon juice. Alright, now when it comes to making calamari, you can also buy the frozen rings from the grocery store, but I prefer to get these tubes, as you can make the rings as narrow or as wide as you prefer. Now I also have some tentacles, and these are optional, but I like using them because it adds some variety to the calamari. Now the first thing that we're going to do is cut the tubes into rings. So you want to grab a tube and place it on the cutting board, and then you want to cut it as wide or as narrow as you like. And I prefer mine with a mixture of both wide pieces and some narrow pieces. So once we're done cutting the rings, now it's time for the tentacles. And if you see some of these long stringy pieces, you can cut these off, but for me they're not a big issue, so I'll just leave them as is. So now we're going to make a buttermilk marinade. So I got a bowl here, and to the bowl we're going to add 2 cups of buttermilk, and I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of some Old Bay seasoning. And now we're going to whisk it all together. This marinade will make the calamari nice and tender, and it also adds some additional flavor. So now we're going to grab the calamari and drop it into the buttermilk marinade. And then you want to make sure they're all fully covered. And then we'll cover this with the lid and have it marinate in the fridge for roughly 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes, and here is our calamari. And now I have a separate bowl, and in the bowl I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to the flour I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, and 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. And now we're going to mix it all together. And just like my other videos, all measurements and ingredients will be in the description. And now we're going to batter the calamari. So as you can see, I got my baking sheet, and then you want to grab a calamari from the buttermilk marinade and then roll it into our seasoned flour. Now you want to make sure that we coat it thoroughly, and you want to make sure that we coat the outside of the ring as well as the inside of the ring. And then we'll shake off any excess flour and then place it on a baking sheet. And the same thing for the tentacles. We'll take it out of the buttermilk marinade, coat it with the seasoned flour, shake off any excess flour, and then place it on the baking sheet. And once we're done battering all the pieces, this is what it should look like. And now I got some corn oil heating on the stove at 350, and we're going to be deep frying this. So I got my deep fryer, and now we're going to add some calamari to our basket, and we don't want to overcrowd the basket, so I'm only going to put in about half of the calamari, and then we'll drop it into the oil. Now once it's in the oil, the temperature of the oil will drop, so you want to increase the heat to bring it back to 350. Now these will cook for roughly about 2 minutes or until they're golden brown. And once it's done, we'll remove it from the oil, and it should be a nice golden brown color. And then we'll place it on a cooling rack. And now we'll repeat the process for the rest of the calamari. So I'll drop them into the oil as well. And then after about 2 minutes, I'll remove them from the oil and place them on a cooling rack and sprinkle some parsley on top for garnish. And that's it. We have our fried calamari. Now this calamari is absolutely delicious. It's golden brown and crispy on the outside, yet soft and tender on the inside. Now I also made some sweet chili sauce for dipping, and I got a recipe on this as well, so I'll put a link to that video in the description. And as always, if you enjoyed this recipe, please let me know in the comments, and please like, subscribe, and share. And enjoy.